Okay, for this part of the lab, you're going to create a customer phone list query right here. Essentially, you're going to add tables to a query design window. In this case, you just have one, and then you're going to pull off the columns that you want to pull from this table and the ones you want to show, and then you're going to run it in ascending order, give it a name, and it'll give you these rows here based on the data that you typed in previously. So this is where you see the real power of Access, because when you have a spreadsheet with literally thousands of rows, you can extract information really, really fast by using this query. And this is where the real power is. You can even join up, many tables, and provided they have a relationship or a common field of some kind, you can pull information from all the different tables into your own custom report and do it way faster than you ever could in Excel with greater accuracy. So let's get started on this phone list query. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this to open up the Access query. Just a minute. Okay, so I pulled up my Access database, not the query, the database. This is the one we've been working on. Remember, I always like to go into the relationships window. That's where you can recognize your work from previously. So I have this relationships window here. I've got my different tables, and you should have them populated with a lot more data than I do right now. So my queries will not give exactly the same results because you will have more data than I will. However, I'll show you still how to do the query steps. So first of all, I would get all of your, if you get anything showing here across the top, you see where it says order line, etc., customers. If you have anything showing, I would be inclined to make sure that you shut it down to begin with. Then you go to create and you go to query design, and for this customer phone list you'll just click on customers. After I went to, notice how I can go right click, show table, customers, add, and then you can literally drag whatever columns you want in your query here. So for example, I am going to go back into the instructions to see which columns they wanted. Customer ID, last name, first name, and phone. Okay, easy peasy. Customer ID, last name, first name. Huh. And there's no phone here. I wonder why. Well, I'm okay. If there's no phone in the database, you don't have to put one in. There should be one there. If there isn't, no big deal. As long as you know. And then I just click on the run button at top left, and then it's giving me the results. And this, I only have one customer in there, so that's all you get. Alright, so that, now it's going to ask you to X out of this. Do you want to save the design? And the answer is yes, and I'm going to call this customer phone list. Okay, and that's the first query. Okay, now we're going to do the next one, which is a supplier and products to reorder query. And ultimately you want to get to this where you've got the products and the suppliers up here and then all of these different columns. So I'm going to create a new query that does that. I'm going to go to create, I'm going to go to query design, and then I'm going to put suppliers, suppliers and products there. You can also just drag the tables on here too, just from the tables area, but that's the way the show table is the standard way to do it. You have all that there. Okay, now we have to get the columns that we want for our report into the query design window. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to grab, go back to here, and I need product ID, product name, units in stock, order ID level, or reorder level. ID, name, in stock, and reorder. Okay. Units in stock, reorder level. And then I need to check, and then I also need the supplier columns, which are going to be supplier ID, company name, and phone. So I'm going to use supplier ID, company name, and phone. There we go. Okay, and the last thing is I'm going to put some criteria in here as well, and that is I have to grab this, and I don't want to spell it wrong. In the criteria row, this will allow you to filter out all this data. I want this prod reorder level in the product units in stock column. So I go here to the product units in stock column, and that's my criteria. This will filter it out for you so that you only get those products that are below the reorder level, so that you can then go and order more of them. That's the purpose of this query. So I'm going to go back into here and see whether there's any other criteria, and there isn't. I do remember in the customers list, I forgot to show you one thing, is that you can sort things by different, whether ascending or descending, like you can in Excel. And I'm not going to do it here, but you could do that, and you should do that in the customer products query that we did earlier, the customer phone list query earlier. So now I run this, and I might not get anything because I only have I only had one product in my products table, but you will get the results shown in the instructions. You'll get Jones, Kelly, and Snyder spinach. That should be what pops up. Okay. And quickly, I'm going to go back to the customers. Okay, we're going to save this, and we're going to call this the product reorder query. Make sure you name these so that I know you did it, please. When I'm grading, I do a lot of these. And then I'm going to go back to the customer phone list. Right click, go to design view, and I might sort this by whatever they say, probably ascending order, and click on run. Okay, and then I only have one, so it's a moot point, but it should be in order by the time if you have more than one customer in there. Okay, so I've changed that as well. Okay, the next one is an open orders query, and with that you're going to have to pull from 4 different tables. Look at them all right here: customers, orders, order line, and products. And you can see that you're going to need all of these different columns here from all 4 tables. And the criteria is for the order ship date, which is null. Null does not mean 0. Null means there's nothing there. So this means that if you've got an order in the system and there's no ship date recorded, then that means that order has not been shipped yet, and that's one that you've got that's called an open order that you have to go and ship. So that's the purpose of this, is null. So we're going to show you how to do that really quick. The first thing is to get customers, orders, order line, and products into a new query window. So I'm going back into Access, I'm going to create, I'm going to query design, and I'm going to add all of these. And I'm going to show you another way of doing it. Customers, order line, orders, products. Those are all the columns needed. Now this is just a personal preference. It bugs me when relationship lines cross, so I'm going to make it so they move out like that. Okay. Next thing is we need to get all of these columns in here. ID, date, ship date. Okay, order ID, order date, and order ship date needs to be put in there. So I can go order ID, order date, and order ship date. Put that there. Okay. And the next thing they are asking for is customer ID and customer last name. So I go to customer ID and customer last name. I put that in there. Okay. And then the next thing they are asking for is the product ID, order line quantity, and product name. Product ID, product name, and order line quantity. Product ID, product name, order line quality. Product ID, order line quantity, product name. Just have a look there, see if my short-term memory failed me. Okay, I have it all. We want all of these to be visible, but we don't want to see the order ship date because that's going to be null anyway. So we're going to go back into here, we're going to uncheck order ship date, and we're going to type in what they say, which is null, no quotation marks. Is null. Okay, now I run that. And again, I don't get anything because I don't have a fully populated database here. However, when you run it, you should get these 2 rows of data if you've populated your data properly. Okay, and then you need to submit your Visio file and your access file, and that's what you submit to the Lab 3 area. And I look forward to seeing your work. Thank you.